Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
Friends of NRA is your chance to support our Second Amendment rights and preserve America's hunting traditions. Join Friends of NRA at one of our 600 exciting events nationwide. From games to auctions and exclusive firearms, Friends of NRA events are your chance to support a cause you care about while having a great time with patriots in your community. Whether you're a seasoned shooter, an avid hunter or outdoorsman, or passionate about freedom, there's a place for you within Friends of NRA. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you. Stand up for freedom with the Friends of NRA.
Sitting up there jacked with Pepsi.
I'm there for the pack out. You just got to pack me in.
Committed to the bow early on. Like, I love getting close and putting up.
You cover a range of stuff on here too, right? Like,
we call this the THP World Headquarters.
You know, my grandpa Roy Weatherby.
I came into like that golden little pocket where there was like 4 or 5 different bowls. Just.
You're Canadian? We're doing a Canadian podcast.
My name's Douglas Bode.
I'm Robbie Denning.
Roy Candy.
Take over, but all
I can't hear you. You got to hold that mic up to your face.
Like the host. You're like the host of the show, Kev.
Is that true? I don't know. These guys might argue that.
No, you're the big cheese.
Am I? All right. Well, yeah. Is there a time limit? Are we getting started? Oh, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to kill.
What do we got going down here?
Can you guys look at all this stuff? So just so you know, you guys going to have to PG the language, okay? There's kids in the audience. So Pete, tone her down.
I'll try. Sorry.
But yeah, look at all this stuff. We're really giving all this stuff away?
Yeah.
I know my kids have been in it for weeks. They're trying to, look at him, he's already in there. Yeah?
Hunter, did you get me out anything good before we came here?
He's probably already been scoping out all the good stuff.
Right now. He's high grading. Oh, for Big Brother.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he high graded for Wyatt.
I think Wyatt's out there. He's already, look at him. Yeah, he's putting it in his back pocket. He's probably selling it. He's probably going to come out of here with a few $100.
It.
Smart idea.
Entrepreneur. I was just going to get it for myself, but yeah, I should just.
You got to hold that mic up to your face, buddy.
No, it's a pretty face. It's all.
Well,
I
know
left.
nobody came here to hear you, so it's probably better that you don't. So, what are we looking at? Oh, we still got 4 minutes. What do you think, Derek?
Pretty good show.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you flew in. It's nice to see you.
Yeah. First time seeing you all in person.
Yeah,
in the flesh?
Yeah,
on the hoof.
Usually floating heads.
First time to see us on the hoof, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Not really sure.
Look at our audio guy. He's on it. He's already shaking his head. He knows.
Yeah, he's all over it.
Yeah. Attaboy. He's got it. So this is a little different, eh? We got some faces in the audience. Normally, I'm just looking at your guys' ugly mugs. So.
Yeah.
You got to hold the mic up to your face. Nobody can hear you. Don't be shy. You're famous, man. You're on TV.
We call this guy Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Wow.
All over TV. YouTube.
So tell us. So the show aired on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't watch it. No. Good friend that I am. I didn't tune into it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I still kind of cringe when I watch it, but yeah, it premiered there this last Tuesday. It's on again tonight at 8 o'clock, actually, and then episode 2 is
I got a recording
Tuesday.
tonight for 8.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to get to watch it with you, so we could just we could tell you everything that
I knew better. I didn't want to sit in a room with you guys and go through that kind of. That's too vulnerable.
No, you're doing good. Really good. So what are we looking at for time? Pete, you're the
Two more
clock guy.
minutes.
Count down or do something. Do something. Who didn't
2
bring you here
minutes.
because you look good?
You got like 2 minutes here.
All right. Yeah, hold that mic to your face so everyone can hear what you're saying.
You can hear what I'm saying.
I can hear what you're saying, but look at Ken over at Hardcore Archery. He can't hear what you're saying. No, he didn't even hear what I was saying. So
No, I don't think he can hear outside of there.
So what are we going to talk about today, boys? Normally we kind of have guests lined up and we have specific things we talk about, but I guess we can leave it up to the audience to maybe come up with a conversation, or if there's anything they're curious about, like kind of like what Pete does on the show and what he contributes, because I'm still trying to figure it out after like a year and a half.
There's nothing. They haven't kicked me off yet, but I just show up for all the fun stuff and just sit there and look pretty, but that's about it.
Oh, 1 minute. Audio man, 1 minute. And we'll hit that intro. Hit it loud. Oh, look, he wasn't on it. He's going to do it now. He forgot.
30 seconds.
I love it. Oh, hey, Hunter's back.
You're back.
What are you
Hi,
grabbing
Grady.
now?
Yo.
It's college fund. He's doing it for his college fund. He's going to come home. I bet he's going to have a couple $100 in his back pocket.
Yeah,
Watch what he gets.
that's at least $20 there.
Remember that one there on the left? That's the one I want.
They were at your house for like 2 weeks, Hunter.
Oh, longer than that, yeah.
Yeah, a month.
Oh, turn it up, audio guy. We can do better now. There we go. Yeah.
Just be sitting up there jacked up Pepsi.
I'm there for the pack out. You just got to pack me in.
Committed to the boat early on. Like, I love getting close and putting up.
You cover a range of stuff on here too, right? Like
We call this the THP World Headquarters.
You know, my grandpa Roy Weatherby.
I came into like that golden little pocket where there was like 4 or 5 different bowls. Just
You're Canadian? We're doing a Canadian podcast?
My name's Douglas Bode. I'm Robbie Denning.
Rourke Candy.
All right. We're live. So thanks everyone for coming to listen to us talk. I know it's kind of new for us. A little bit nervous actually sitting up here.
Yeah, I'm super nervous.
Yeah, seeing all these eyes, it's kind of different. It's good. Look at all the stuff we're giving away. I can't believe it. How are we going to give it away? Like, there's some nice stuff here. I'm not sure about like, we got, what are those? Derek, grab that stuff, like those dog collars and stuff that Vortex sent us. What are those?
Yeah, they're all, dog collars.
Let's see one of those. Huh.
Socks.
Anybody
here.
who's got a dog?
There you go. I knew that.
That was,
there you go.
Well, how many have we got? 3? First 3 people out.
Where's our runners here?
Yeah,
You got
let's go.
runners.
Come on.
Yeah, who wants it?
Yeah, come and get some of this stuff here.
Come on, come get it.
There we go.
There you
oh,
go.
yeah, get into it. Come on.
There's one.
Well, here.
You're holding
Let's
out.
get one right here.
Oh,
Man
here
needs
we
one.
go. Oh,
Let's get another one.
Pete's got the princess
We got
here.
other stuff. Hey, little man, come here.
Oh, come back,
Hey,
come back,
come
come
back.
back, come back, come back.
Hey,
Come
Yeah,
back.
you're not walking away empty-handed.
take
no.
some stickers. There you go, buddy. Take a pack
There
of
you
stickers.
go.
All right, we got lots of stuff.
You're welcome.
Okay, we didn't bring the dogs this
Yeah,
time,
we didn't give
so
dogs
we're not
to give
giving
away.
dogs
There's
away.
a couple at Kevin's house.
Yeah, I got a few at my house. They could probably.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, hold on. My wife's in the stands. I better not say that. So, yeah. Right on. So, how's everyone doing today? So, how many listeners of the show do we have? Hold up a set of hands here.
Just one.
Just
All
one,
right.
yeah. Just one.
There was 3.
I know we have 2, but my mom's not in the stands, so
Yeah.
we do have a couple fans. So, what are we talking about, boys? So, let's do an introduction. We'll start with Hollywood. Okay,
Sure.
sorry. We call him Hollywood because he's famous now.
I'm not.
We've known Ashley for a long time. Okay, I'll do you. Should I do your introduction? No, you do your
Go.
introduction. No, go ahead.
Sure.
You're not going to like my introduction.
They will.
Oh, they're
They probably
definitely
would.
going to kick it
Anyway,
out,
my
but-
name's Ashley Stuckless.
Hold that mic to your face. Don't be shy.
Oh.
There we
we
go. We want to
go.
hear that deep rocking
Okay,
voice.
got it.
Yeah.
My name's Ashley Stuckless, and I started filming backcountry hunts about 3 years ago, and just posting on YouTube and learning as I go. And just recently this year, I've got picked up by Wild TV, so We got a BC show that's going to be broadcast on Wild TV for this season, so pretty proud of that. I'm a little apprehensive about the quality of the show yet, but I think it's going to get there, so we'll just keep working away. I live down in the Lower Mainland, and got fortunate enough to hook up with these guys to, they've helped me a lot to get to know a lot of people in the hunting community. So, it's kind of team effort. Just a regular working guy that's, hey, that's a great question. The name of the show
You're quite the promoter.
Is High BC. I go for the modest approach. The name of the show is High BC. So, we focus on mainly backcountry hunts, packing in. We just had the sheep hunt air this week, which...
when you say we, whoever you can get to go with you? Whoever you can sucker into going?
What's that?
Whoever you can sucker into going with you?
Well, it is kind of like that. It's the show is not typical in the fact that it's not just me standing in front of the camera alone. I like to find interesting people and film their hunts, and so I bring my hunting buddies out there. Jesse Renier is with me on that sheep hunt, so he got the pleasure of filming me miss my sheep. So that's my opener on Wild. So
should we tell them about the hunt we did together? Because my back's still sore from carrying you for that.
You did not carry me. I caught up every time.
All right. We'll finish your intro.
URB. Yeah, that's enough. That's an intro.
He's definitely being modest, that's for darn
All right.
sure.
Okay, well, are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, Pete?
All right, I'm Peter Von Essen.
Okay, my name is Kevin Toy.
There you go.
I started
and this is what I got to deal with.
Focus Hunting podcast probably
this
3
is what
years
I got
ago.
to deal with.
I'm a born and bred British Columbian, avid outdoorsman. Got a beautiful wife in the back, 3 lovely kids running around here somewhere. And I just love sharing the message of hunting and teaching hunting and doing all that stuff. So it's been fun. I get to meet these great guys I have on stage. We get to talk to a great group of people like yourself. So it's been a blast. You're up.
My name's Derek. We're just going to... Pete, you better go.
I love this. You know what? I'm just going to grab that backpack and head on out the back there.
What are you going to do with that backpack?
Sit in the crowd with everybody else.
Well, maybe to carry your beer in, eh?
I think he's mad because you didn't put your hand up when he said who listens to the show.
Oh, yeah, I try not to. I got to listen to him.
I didn't either, though. But
My name's Derek Corey. I'm the newest host on the podcast. Co-host. I'm from Alberta, so big game hunting is my forte. Long range rifle stuff. I'm doing a seminar later on here this evening as well. But archery, muzzleloader, you name it. That's what I do. Calling in elk. So that's about it.
How many elk have you killed?
7 and 7 in a row. Yep.
7 in a row? 7 for 7?
Yep.
Oh,
7 in a row. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, 7 in a row and lots of mule deer. Yeah, big time. Been in Eastman's magazine.
Yeah.
So like riding. That's something I'm kind of a new thing I'm getting into. So, but yeah, for big mule deer tips and tactics and stuff. So yeah, that's my thing.
Right on, buddy. What about you, Pete? How was your moose draw this year?
Yeah, of course he had to go there. Yeah. So 2 years ago, my wife, she hammered a beautiful bull moose archery season, 15 yards. And then I lucked out, got the draw last year.
Hold that mic closer to face so Ken in the background can hear you.
Yeah, there you go. So I lucked out, got the draw last year. Had multiple chances, but I came home with nothing. Nothing but stories of the ones that got away. And I haven't heard the end of it from this guy. And my wife's actually worse than him, if you can believe it or not. Never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
But is what it is. I just love being in the backcountry and getting to talk to all our guests and stuff. It's awesome being able to interview other people that are like-minded, and you get a lot of info from everybody that's everywhere in BC or everywhere in Alberta's got their own little specific ways of having to hunt different terrain. So it's neat getting other perspectives from other people and
How
stuff
many
like
laps
that.
do you think Pete could do around this track, everybody?
I gotta blow this out, no problem.
Hey?
I'm
You
not
got to
going to, though.
add a prize.
Add a prize if they get it
someone
right?
who
I
they
get a
got to
what?
guess right, and then they get a prize.
Do you think we could get him up there running around?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
I didn't think so either, but
I don't run. If I'm running, you guys need to run because there's something big chasing me. That's a fact.
I love it. All right. Well, so we still haven't decided what we're going to talk about. Like I said, normally we have guest specialists. We're going to hear stories, but we just have you guys. We got the crowd. What do you guys want to talk about? Anybody have any questions? How many bow hunters we got in the crowd?
Oh, nice.
Dave, you're not a bow hunter. You hunt with a rifle. All right. Oh, what? Both.
Oh, crossbow.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe security.
Halfway.
Security. Can we get you over here, please? No, just kidding. It's good. If you're getting out in the backcountry, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're going for a hike, like Pete, that's what he does. He just goes out for a lot of hikes.
Take pictures with
He just happens to carry a rifle or a bow with him.
Yeah. That's all
But
I
he
got
never
going
comes
for
home
me.
with too much. No, you had a good year, though. You got
Yeah. I had a good year. Lots of opportunities. Got a nice bear beginning of the season last year. Got a really nice whitetail at the end of the year last year. Both ended up with rifle on those, but sometimes you just do what you got to do to put meat in the freezer and
What were we
try again
talking
this
about
year.
earlier that we were going to carry the conversation on here? For the listeners to know, I got a memory like a goldfish, so these guys have to
We
carry
talking
me.
about the end of the season? How my season ended?
Oh, do you want to
with
tell
the
that
truck?
story? I mean,
I don't know. I think it's worth hearing. I think people can relate. I mean,
I've been hunting a long time, and I can't relate to that. That's never happened.
Yeah, well, you're a bow
Never
hunter.
happened to me either.
This is a rifle thing, Kev.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure a lot of people had maybe a tougher year last year, late season mule deer hunting. The snow really didn't push the animals down, so what I know for our camps and our hunts, we had to push up, and I was pushing up even right into the first week of December.
Hold that mic up. Ken can't hear you back there.
Okay, right into the first week of December, so I decided to still keep pushing up. So I moved camp up, probably 400 meters elevation above where I usually run late season camp. I usually stick closer to the sage and closer to the better driving, and got on a few bucks, and then there was a pretty good one at the end of the season. And
So for the people who haven't spent a lot of time mule deer hunting, why don't we break that down a bit? Let's talk a little bit why. And Derek, you can get your input in here too, because you're a killer when it comes to mule deer. Let's talk a little bit about.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about where you typically find mule deer.
Yeah, the strategy for sure.
So what are you looking for when you go into this place? What do you instantly What are you initially looking for?
So I typically, when I'm starting in September, I'm up at the tops of the mountains, and as the snow push, particularly the does down off the hill, as we get into October, then all of a sudden you'll see the deer population moving down into the river basins, into the sage. They'll feed on sage and grasses that are down in that area. The first wave is usually going to be the does with the fawns, because they'll want the fawns to be on good feed as early as possible. Then once you see the wave of the does start to show up in mid-October, the traveling does, the breeding does, then the bucks know they're not rutting down there still, so they won't come down. They can still get food up high, and they'll stay till they're basically belly dragging in the snow before they'll push down, and they'll push it as close to the rut as possible. Well, last year, even in that last week in November, it was ankle deep at the top of 1,800 meters. So, up in the mountains still, you could get around. So it didn't push the does off, and if the does don't go, neither will the bucks. You'll get a couple scraggly resident bucks that'll be down there, but the big breeding bucks
There we
will.
go. There we go. We're gonna have to tie that around it. We'll get a.
Thanks, Pete.
Oh, damn it! We gave away all those dog collars.
And
We should've had one
so
for his
just pull a yank on them.
So last year that made it pretty difficult for me personally and for our group. We did get some bucks in our group. I did not get a buck in our group, but we hunted. It's hard. You kind of stick with what works, and then when it's not working, it seems like no matter how long you're chasing these things, it's hard to change your gears. It's hard to just fully commit. And then I made a commitment late season to say, forget it. I'm going to pull camp and I'm going to take it high as I could get. And
So what are you watching for when you're watching these deer come down off the mountainside? Like, are you glassing into tree lines, or are you just you covering as much ground with your glass as you can to so you can spot?
Yeah, so basically I'll come down off of elevation with the snow. Because I'm trying to film the hunts as well, I like to set up, ambushes and areas where they're transitioning down off the high country. They typically don't just randomly come off the hill. There's quite a bit of pattern to each little range.
And these bucks too, like we're talking mature class deer, and when
we're talking mature.
And the thing is, like, deer don't get big for no reason. They get big because they're wily, they're smart, and they've avoided not only human predators, but they've also been really good at avoiding wolves, cougars, bears. So they're pretty cagey.
They're pretty smart. I think a lot of people that maybe don't hunt mule deer aren't aware of just how smart they are. Like the big bucks, their patterning is built for survival, and it is ultimately their breeding season that makes them vulnerable. The more mature deer are more vulnerable to us at that time, whether they're traveling down. So we're looking for, necked out valleys where, if there's the fingers of open ridges off of these mountains will actually be the freest of snow because they stay windswept. The drainages and stuff, they'll sock in. So they'll look for the little edges and come down where they're not sitting perfectly skyline on that, but they'll have mid-slope trails there where they don't have to push through the snow, and then they'll come down where feeding's easier. And then we try and catch them coming on those fingers. Then they're going to transition through the lower timber. So you can timber hunt. I don't do a whole bunch of still hunting, as much as a couple of my friends pressure me of saying that I'm missing the opportunity.
It's not very conducive to if you're trying to film it.
To filming,
thing, right?
that's the main detractor. I just say, well, how do I effectively film that? And over 90% of what I do, I self-film it, which it's really hard to hunt in that style. So then I'm looking to wait till they get out to the river basins. Then I'm set up generally above them or in some of the tree pockets that are there if I have them patterned. And then I'm, set up with my spotting scope, binoculars, cameras, and rifle. And that's how I try to capture the hunt. And then it's sort of a patience game, which I'm not that patient, but still, yeah.
So what happened? You didn't.
Oh
get
yeah,
a meal,
I didn't.
right?
I didn't get.
We were waiting.
we
didn't get to the punch.
Well, suspense.
We want to get to the end here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So I push up. I take camp up and get it set up. This is the last weekend. This is the 10th. Is on Sunday last year.
Last day of mule
last day. Yeah. The day before, I got into finally seeing some bucks. I changed the location. I hadn't hunted this area much. I had been through there kind of poking my nose around, but so I wasn't 100%, except it looked good. Desktop looked good. So I went in there, hauled camp up high, which is kind of sacrilegious because, it's, exactly why is what happened. I got trailing a big buck on the, biggish, 160 class buck for reference, on the last day. and I wouldn't let him go. Like I wanted to get him. Like I was pushing hard, and it started to snow about 2 o'clock, and I knew better. And I'm like, no, I'm going after this buck. I'm not giving up. I've put in quite a couple hundred kilometers of hiking in the season here. I'm looking to close out here. And, the storyline's in my head the whole time, too. All right, it's the last day of the season. What a great story. And I'm going to get this guy. And I'm distracted with sort of the pursuit. And it's snowing harder. And then I'm like, oh, this is such a bad idea. But I ran him right till dark. And when I was walking across the slope, like my headlamp, it was like pure blizzard. And I'm like, oh, this was a mistake. And I had the help of a young cameraman, Sterling, that had come out to try to learn a bit about hunting. So this is a good lesson in what not to do. He's got his truck up there. I've got my truck up there. Like we packed up camp. It still took about an hour to get a wall tent down and out and packed in. And by the time we did, there was 6 inches. And you know what those 2-track roads are like through this grass. And as soon as that little bit of grass is on there, tires push it over. Well, Sterling went first because I had chains, which I didn't put on. That's not good.
I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, no, I didn't tell that part.
I thought
I should have never told that part.
He waits. Yeah,
but that's the truth. That's the truth. I had but here's why I didn't put them on. I came out to the edge of the tip over, and we're talking some steep stuff, open, burnt fir forest, basically grassland, typical to a lot of through the Okanagan area. And when I peeked over the edge, I thought, oh, Sterling, what a good young guy. He's waiting for me down at the bottom, like old school. Yeah. That's what we do. We get down and then we just make sure our buddy makes it down. I didn't know he's 100 feet off the road, about 6 inches away from head-on into a fir tree. He took no damage on his truck, which I was very thankful for because I didn't want him wrecking his truck.
So would you have flipped the bill if he had any damage to his truck? Like, talking old school here.
No, I would have. I would have helped him out. I mean, he's a young guy. He's coming out of the goodness of his heart. So yes, I would. I still ended up footing a pretty big bill. We'll touch on that at the end of it. So I'm thinking, yeah, he's waiting for me down there. Oh, he made it down. He didn't have chains, so I'm like, and he got fat tires. I'm like, oh, if he made it down, no problem.
Were the tires bald?
No, nobody's tires were bald.
No?
Everyone had good as far as traction, but he had like big wide mudders, which are not good on snow. And I just had some KO2s, which good tread. And boy.
So this is the point where you got up and be like, it's probably a good idea to put my chains on?
Stopped. No, I was like, I did have that thought. I was like, maybe I should just whip the chains on. Nah, he made it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
I'm overthinking it.
They only take a couple minutes,
I drove halfway to where you guys are sitting, and that was it. And she was gone, like totally gone. Like sideways right away, bingo, right into a log right away. And then I traveled, I don't know how far it was, I didn't measure, but at least 200 meters. I think I was saying 300 meters, but I think it was probably 200 meters. But that's an eternity. When you're whipping sideways, it's blizzard in the headlights, and I'm like, don't hit a big rock or something because she's gonna just roll on me because I'm probably 30, 40 kilometers an hour, just straight sidewalls, right down, can't see nothing. And then all of a sudden, the passenger headlight I could see a fir tree light up in it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not slipping by that one. And just smacked the front passenger, which slowed me down briefly. And then it turned sideways, and I'm like, okay, I should jump out. And and I didn't because I'm like, no, it's too straight. I'll probably go under the wheel. Just hold on, here we go. And again, it got whipping even faster because now I'm going reverse down the hill. And then found a big blowdown and came to rest there. So, and then we had to hike out. Can I keep going? There's more.
It keeps going.
There's a little bit more.
I think they want to know how you got
out. Suspense. I mean,
so I'm like,
you're dragging us on like an audio book.
So now, Sterling's only 50 feet away from me. So I'm glad.
Hold your mic.
Oh,
there we go. So
sorry, I'm getting tired. Got to get in the gym with you.
Yeah. So anyway, you walked out. Your truck was a mess. You didn't get a deer. You just kind of skipped over what happened.
Yeah.
What happened with the deer?
Didn't get a deer. No.
Yeah.
Didn't get him.
And that was it.
No.
It was good because
halfway out we got surrounded by wolves.
Oh, there's more. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, you know the wolves. Yeah, halfway out. So me and Sterling are now hiking out because we're like, okay, well, I got chains and traction.
So, and obviously, you're a TV guy. This is all captured on film.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much.
Yeah, you're changing
have
your
no
shorts at this
recollection
point.
of having camera gear with me or anything.
No, it's a good thing you had change and camera gear in the back seat of your truck.
It would have been good.
I mean, this is like
then
a
it wouldn't
movie.
just
This
be
wouldn't have been a good
talking
episode
about.
for the show.
Actually, that's what people want to see, right? Is the wreck. Yeah. So yeah, total failure. And halfway out, I see in my headlamp, I see a couple eyes just, 50 yards away. The headlight just grazed over. I'm like, oh, it must be some deer here in the winter range. And then all of a sudden Sterling goes, no, I seen a fluffy tail. I'm like, oh, wolves. That's the wolves in here. And he's like, right away. He's going to kill me probably for telling this, but right away he's got one of those lost whistles. Those high-pitched whistles? Like, his instinct was, let's make a really obnoxiously loud noise. He blew that thing twice, it's high. I'm like, and I hit him right away because I'm like, that sounds just like a fawn. And sure thing, 2 of those wolves broke off, and they were, inside this little seating area here.
So you guys are getting surrounded by wolves, and he's blowing a predator call. I love it.
Yeah, he was.
I love it.
Call him in.
And yet still no cameras
and he's like,
rolling.
Oh.
Yeah.
He, for the next 5-kilometer hike out, he was looking behind himself every 30 seconds. And I was like, take me now, whatever. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. You believe that?
There. True story.
I saw the photos of the wreckage. That part's true for sure, at least.
The wreck truck for sure.
Yeah. Too bad we should have hooked it up so everybody can see the mess after, but yeah. You're not a very good host because you don't have this all organized.
Yeah. No. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So who had a successful mule deer season? What have you had? Nice, a few boys.
Couple killers.
Where were you hunting?
Who likes hunting mule deer? There we go.
Wicked.
Yeah, mule deer are one of my favorite. For sure. Well, any questions? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to? Anybody got questions for the elk killer here? Who hunts elk? Yeah. Who's killed an elk? Nice. Dave, how come you didn't put it up your hand? Right. Yeah, that's true. It's tough with that 6-point. Definitely in Region 8 here, it's tough. So I'm going to, little caveat here. Derek, they only have a 3-point. It only has to be 3 points.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from his,
Whoa. Didn't know that either.
Yeah, you can kill 3 points.
Yeah.
Never killed one.
He held that out. And I connected all this
Never
together.
killed a 3-point. But there's a couple 6-point zones, but that's farther north. Typically near the southern border, it's all, other than the draw zones, it's 3-point or better. Yeah, with 7.3 centimeters on the 3rd point.
7 for 7, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It can get pretty...
How many years have you been hunting elk?
Hunting elk, 8 years.
Hardcore
8 years.
You're telling me you started hunting elk and had one hard year,
I'm not out there every day.
No.
I shot cow elk when I was...
Oh, okay.
I think...
Well, that's hunting elk.
No, it's a draw.
Still, you're
no, it's all been mule deer. All mule deer, all whitetail. Tons
when
of
you
them.
hunt elk, you got to go through this whole pain.
You got to go through my pain.
Period.
No, I figured it out pretty quick.
Pete's been going through this painful thing for 20-something years.
This is gonna.
It's either that or he's a really bad
I
hunter.
bow hunted for 1.5 days for elk and shot a bull. Called him in. Called him into 30 yards and
audio
shot
guy,
him.
can you unplug
broadside.
his mic here? Nobody wants to hear this.
I called and practiced for like a year and a half.
What kind of calls? Hey, we got some calls here. Who should we give? Let's give these away. Who uses reeds to call elk? Come up here and grab one.
Grab a couple.
These are good ones. These are some of my favorite.
So these ones are for more of a beginner. The yellow ones. Yep.
Hey, asking me to film Derek is a slight on me, Pete.
Got anything? Oh, there's another one here.
Hold on.
There's another one here.
You can get these all from Travis at Wapiti. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why Travis isn't here this year, but next year we'll get him here. Next year we should
Awesome.
do like we should do like an elk calling competition. We'll get Trav in here. Where's my kid Hunter? He's pretty good at calling elk. He grabs like the vacuum hose and he can make the sounds with his. He doesn't need to read.
Wicked.
Killer.
Mine's kind of a mix between elk and coyote. Kind of working on
elk
it.
or bears
But it's fun.
Let me guess. And
It works like a hot damn.
Yeah.
You know.
You're killing
Is
elk.
it a whistle?
You killed an elk this year? It worked?
I didn't kill an elk.
Oh, okay.
I had a tough year, Kev.
Yeah. But you were grinding hard. I'll give you that. Like,
I worked hard for.
you never worked so hard for
loved
nothing
it.
in your whole life.
I produced some of the best hiking videos you're gonna find.
Oh yeah.
Like
So is your
hunting
show on?
aside-
Does it air on? Did you say it's the Nature Channel it airs on?
A what?
The Nature Channel? It can't be on a hunting show. 'Cause you didn't,
No, it's I have. That's what I said. I film my friends, so we do get things.
Yeah, I don't know. I went hunting with you and your camera, and we didn't get anything. I got a couple ticks in my bed. That was about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, my back was sore for 2 weeks after that trip.
Oh, there's
cheap
the
shots.
truth right
We do have
there.
a listener. No, yeah,
Thank you.
the camera was on. I'm not good. I'm not.
Well,
good
the
with
power
camera.
was on. Was the record button pressed?
Hey man,
Apparently
I'm
it's
worried
not
about
good to double
getting.
tap
I'm worried
the
about
record.
punching tags. That's it. So
That's why you'll never make good hiking videos.
that's why I'm never. Well, yeah, true enough. True enough. So we got all this. Look at the set of boots we got. AKU sent us. I shouldn't say AKU. It's AKU. They gave me crap for saying AKU. Say it properly.
Aku
Told-
boots.
Does anybody else
Open this
run Aku?
Has anybody heard of them? You had a pair? How do you like them? Oh, you have a pair. Yeah, they're killer. You don't have a pair?
They've lasted longer than any other boot I've ever run. And
Yeah, your pedal, it works good in your...
It's good. This is the foot that's broken in here. This
Yeah.
one here is a little stiff. Don't use it as often.
Open those up there. Let's check those out.
But these are, I'm in the Kootenays myself.
Are these
so
the
I'm-
ones you have?
No, these are new ones. They just sent... These are their newest model. They
Those
look
are pretty nice.
slick. Hey, yeah. Size 11. Anybody a size 11? Oh, we got a couple. How are we gonna...
Oh, there we go.
How are we gonna... You know
those
what
are
we should
nice
do?
boots.
They are nice. Really
Those
nice.
are nice boots.
You know what? I don't think those are actually in the giveaway pile.
Yeah, I think.
I'm size 11 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are really
Pete's
nice.
still trying to break his boots in.
Yeah, those
Vibrant
are for like
bottoms.
another 10 years from now or something maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, we'll give away one boot at a time.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, I think what have we been 2 years, 3 years, 2
I
seasons for sure.
So I hunt when I hunt the early season. I hunt with a runner. I don't wear a boot.
Okay.
And I use their runner, and it's next level. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've got the I've got the 8-inch. I forget which exact model I have. Mine are 8-inch boots. 2 hard seasons right from the beginning, right till it gets too cold, end of December, whenever I tag out. And I got to say, there's little wear. The last 2 seasons have been two heavy moose seasons too. So top of the mountains to the bottom of the mountains, doesn't matter. I'm in it. I love them. I've run quite a few different types of boots, but
Yeah,
so far these are the toughest that have lasted the longest. Anyway.
I have 2 sets of their boots as well, and they've lasted longer than any other boot. Like Crispies, I've blown through in a year. Loa. They're really good. So anyway, what are we going to do with these boots? How are we going to give them away? We got a
that's
few.
gonna be a hard one.
What's that?
That's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, I don't know. Who needs a new set of boots? Probably everyone's going to put their... Everybody who can...
Everyone with size 11 feet.
Well, maybe we can give you
boots.
guys each one, and then you guys can just work it out.
Yeah. No one's happy. That's what we're going for. No one's happy. All right.
Oh, that's too... But no, we got some other good stuff here, so... Come on, guys.
Well, you got to do like a competition.
I don't know. I'm
something.
almost thinking like arm wrestling or like some
push-ups.
I think we should.
I like some push-ups.
Let's do some push-ups.
Just saying.
Hey,
these guys
son
aren't gonna
of
do
a
push-ups.
biscuit.
Yeah.
So I'm out of the
That's
running.
the best
then.
we can do.
Flip a coin.
Hey, dude. Hey, don't look at me. I'm just sitting between these two. I don't know.
What do you think, Ashley?
Who got a mule deer last year?
Who wears a size 11?
Out of the 11 boots.
Oh,
that's
we got a whitetail.
Got a whitetail.
do you guys listen to the show? No, I mean Wild TV. I mean the podcast, the Focus Hunting podcast. Yeah? What episode are we on? Whoever can tell me what episode we're on first, they can have these boots. How's that sound?
What was that?
Better search that quick. Get your phones out.
I
don't even know what
Everybody races
you can
on.
tell me whatever.
I think I can spot a winner coming here right quick.
Someone's going through their phone quick.
Come on, get
scroll.
going.
Thumbs are moving fast.
Come on, race, guys,
moving.
race.
Hopefully there's some good internet connection in here.
Yeah, cut the Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah, cut the vibe.
Cut the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What about whitetail? Peek on a whitetail.
Whitetail
I
got
got a whitetail.
Yeah, got a beautiful 5x6 this year.
Did you get a whitetail this year?
I did not hunt whitetail. It was all elk and moose.
Yeah, you guys got 2 elk.
Yeah, I shot
2 moose.
2 elk and 2 moose. I shot a bull with my bow at 40 yards. Called him in.
178. We got a 178.
We're at 178, really?
I think we might be up there.
I've had to listen to you talk for that long. God,
That's like 110-ish episodes.
That's a lot of hours. That's over 200 hours.
It feels like a lot longer than that.
I think we got a winner, though.
Yeah, well, okay. Come pick up the boots, buddy.
Grab them. Wicked.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, keep rolling.
Yeah, I shot a bull.
I want to hear it.
It was a little bit slow at the start. I hiked around for 3-4 days. Not much rut activity. Hard hikes, though. Like, really having to get in there. Lots of heavy pressure. So,
Can you put that down? Hey, get that down. That's not for you.
It's for me. I need
so
one.
yeah, a lot of high pressure hunting areas and just hiking in the worst possible spots. Like I know we were talking with Mark from Treeline Academy about having a hunt plan, and my hunt plan was go the worst possible area, the farthest from the trailheads, and try and find some elk. And I hiked 30K a day for 3 days and didn't find anything, so put a cap in it for a little bit and then went back.
So
out.
were you backpack hunting?
No, just day in.
Truck?
Day
in?
So like I'd
So
park
were
in
you
the
hiking 30 kilometers in the same spot,
big
or
loops.
switching up?
No, I'd switch it up. So I would have like these hunt plan loops where basically I go hunt the entire drainage basin that I knew.
So how do you know there's elk in there? For people who need to find elk, how do you are you e-scouting? You were e-scouting, but
I always do.
What are you looking for when you're e-scouting?
So I'm looking for, obviously, kind of there's
The sign that says elk are here. That's what Pete does.
Yeah,
That's
I look for the signs. Yeah,
it works pretty good.
Yeah. No, what I'm looking for usually is first I categorize what time of the year am I hunting elk, and then I categorize the need. So if I'm hunting bulls, early season, I know bulls are typically not, like if it's early season, first week of September, they're not typically moving around too much. The more dominant bulls are held up tight within 100 yards. So I'm looking for benches 20 degrees or less, usually secluded from pressure, whether or not that's other pressure like ATVs, dirt bikes, random campers, or just hunters in general. So I'll look at those zones of pressure. I'll find those areas, and then I start looking at, what's in those zones is there food, feed, water, and then also to some territorial areas I'll look at where is there a bench? If there's a bench in there, I'm definitely going to walk through there.
What you're talking about zones of pressure too, I want to add to that, is that you can utilize those zones of pressure to your advantage. So elk, they do stay away. So if you're in an area where there's a lot of pressure, you can utilize that to your advantage. And you know there's elk in there. You're seeing elk, you see an elk sign. You can really use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I actually have found in some cases, not like controversially, but it can make hunting easier. Like the hike is substantially harder, but it's one of those things, you know you're going to suffer. You know you're going to go in there, and it's going to be the hardest spot usually to pack out an elk as well. So that's kind of one caveat with that. So you better have some real good friends to help you and be able to call them at 4 a.m. to come get an elk out. But so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those zones of pressure, and then within those zones, looking for the core feed, water. Water's around here, I don't know, like it's not as important where I am.
I just had to laugh because I just remembered Ashley. I was looking at that pack, not to cut you off here. Well, I am cutting you off, but Ashley's sheep hunt. Did you hear that story?
You run out of water?
No. Anyway, we'll finish this and then we'll go into.
You usually do a couple times in a 10-day hunt, actually.
Yeah. So. Put a cap in it after hunting all my hunt plans, and usually I'll always add one new hunt area every year just so I can build up that kind of repertoire. I don't revisit areas. So if I've hiked an area and I've called into every basin, I know that for the most part either the rut isn't on and I need to leave, or I'll just cover an area and they'll move on to the next one.
Okay. What kind of calling are we talking? What are you doing here? Are you cow calling?
I'm aggressive. Yeah, I'm really aggressive.
Well,
like what kind of
I'm
aggressive?
Going to disagree. Like I've gone into areas and bugled and never got anything. And I've stayed in that same area, cow called. Finally, you get a response from another cow. And I've killed bulls just simply on cow calling. And at the first day, not getting any response from bugle.
Yeah, so usually, like even like so in 2022. I was doing aggressive bugling, location bugles, and I wasn't hearing anything. But that doesn't mean the last 3 bulls I've shot were quiet. So, well, besides last year's was Roar Fest, but the bulls before that, it was all quiet. So, you know, just because you're bugling and you're doing like real aggressive raking and call sequences, cold calling them, that doesn't mean there isn't a bull coming to you. So you kind of have to have patience and confidence in your calling that you're going to let things kind of progress where, you know, if you're coming into an area, get the wind right and hunt to where you have an advantage of wind, because elk aren't going to be coming into your downwind. So just sit there and call. Don't call too much, but ramp up the intensity, maybe add cow calling and slow down the calling, increase it. Do, you know, have some change, some variety, sound realistic.
What's your topography like? So like one thing I've found elk hunting here in British Columbia, because elk will always use elevation to their benefit. So it doesn't matter what you do, if you're calling. I mean, if you don't get in tight enough to a group, say there's a bull, you got a herd bull, and he's already locked up with his cows. You get in there, you're too far away, you throw out a bull call, you might get a response, and then you advance, and then you throw out another call. He's going to be at the same distance he was where you were 50 yards ago, and what he's doing is he's pushing his cows up. He's letting you know where he is, but he also wants you to know, like, hey, I already have, like, he's already got his cows. He's not going to mess with you then.
Yeah,
right? He's
so
going to keep using that elevation.
So it definitely depends on the time frame. Early season, they're territorial. You have to get within 100 yards of those bulls. That's what I've seen typically. So, and anytime I come into an area, I do a soft cow call up, usually on benches. If I see sign, I'll immediately I'll get into a shooting lane and do a soft cow call.
Yeah.
I won't get super aggressive. I'll be very careful with the way that I'm calling at the start, because there could be a bull under 100 yards from you.
Oh yeah, man.
Right?
I've done that before where I've gone into areas and I've just done careless calling.
Yeah, and then you're not ready.
And I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And I've done it, and I've been busted a lot of times, and it's cost me an elk.
Yeah.
So
and
like
then,
when I go into these areas now, it's like I'm thinking of every single which way an elk's going to be able to come. Because I've called, like even last year, like I was telling you, is like I went into this area and I threw out a cow call, and 2 seconds later, like that bull must have been right behind that tree line. He popped out. I mean, he was a 5x5, but I had that. I already had an arrow knocked.
Yeah, you have to be ready.
I was ready full, and he came in. When he came out of the tree line, he was at 70 yards, right? And he stopped and barked. And when they bark, they're just doing. They're like letting the cow know, or letting whoever know that's calling, and like, hey, I'm right here. Show yourself, right? Like that's their indicator. Like, hey, show your face. And that I never called because I was sitting there. I was watching him 70 yards, and that bull just followed tree line. He walked right to 20 yards in front of me. But I learned that the hard way. I've been busted.
You ever bark right back at them?
Yep.
I find it calms them down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing else is barking at them
I've used barks
elk.
before, but I've also when you're hunting in the thick bush, that's a great way to get them. Like when you're sitting there and you don't have a lane, right? You don't have a shot because they're in the thick trees. You can use that call to really drag them out. You can use it to pull them out, right? They're going to commit that last little, because now they know you're an elk. You're another elk telling, hey, I've come this far. You come the rest of the way and show yourself, and that's when you get a shot. But also, when you get into these calling sequences, you have to be very diligent with how you're setting up. Like when I go into an area now, I only set up into places where I know I'm going to get a shot. So I position myself wherever that bull is going to come from. I'm going to get a shot. Now, we have a 6-point rule. You have to get a look at him first. You can't just see a movement and then start pulling the trigger.
Yeah, and too, with that, like obviously you got to have a shooting lane. You have to have a good setup. You also have to think, okay, so where can that bull hang up? So if there's any type of elevation, bulls they'll hang up on the top, and then they'll call down to you so they can see you, and they'll have a physical advantage on their opponent, right? So they're always going to want to try and call you up. So, too, like if you have a bull that's coming straight up to you, I'd check your wind immediately.
Yeah, wind is huge. Wind is huge.
Yeah,
so you can full, no matter what you're doing, you always have to be cognizant of the wind. And depending on your time, thermals play a big role into that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been busted so many times by just carelessly judging thermals.
Yeah.
So many times.
And you got to think about, too, like if you're doing a really aggressive calling sequence and then a bull gets to an edge of a timber, like it's not usually that romantic. We're coming into a valley and they come out and then I make the perfect shot. Well, no. They're going to come out to cover. They're going to poke their head out and they're going to look around. If they don't see elk and you've been calling aggressively where it sounds like should be 200 head of elk, they're going to go, I don't like that. I'm going to get nervous.
Yeah,
that's where when I first started elk hunting, I had made the rookie mistakes of calling right when I was on the edge of openings and stuff, instead of stepping back into the timber and calling it so that they think, oh, he's not in the opening. He's still on the other side there. They might skirt around, but it's crazy the difference that you'll see when you pay attention to that. Once it's actually in the back of your mind, you get to a spot and you go, oh, this would be nice to get to, but it's like, no, if he hangs up over there, I have no shot. But if you stay back 20, 30 yards from that opening and maybe skirt to a side, depending on your wind, now you've got options if something doesn't go right.
Every bull I've killed, so the last 3 bulls I've killed, I've used elevation to my advantage. Where if I didn't have elevation, I made a point of it. So if I'm calling, the bull has elevation on me, or the group of elk has elevation on me, I instantly switch my game plan and I get elevation on them. I will not call until I gain elevation. That's my number one objective. Is then I get.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now is that in steeper terrain?
Is that?
Now is that in steeper terrain? Because I think we've talked about it before. Depending on your terrain, it might change up how the bull will react to steeper terrain. The elevation
I've
is
just
really,
found
really
they're always going to use elevation, and like they don't have. If you're calling above them, they're going to come up. They have to, right? They're going to have to come up to see what you are, right? They're rutting. You're making these sounds that's attracting these bulls. They're going to come up to you. When they're going down, they're a lot more hesitant going down, right? They're going to go down slower. They're just going to be more wary. When they're coming up, they're just like you have the advantage of them now, and like an elk will always get an advantage on whoever. So like elk love advantage; they use it to advantage. Now, if an elk's calling another elk and you have advantage, you're basically you're sounding like another elk that has elevation on them, right? Where they spend so much time avoiding wolves, bears, human pressure, everything. They just instantly go for that's their protection.
Yeah, they'll cliff themselves out to get away from. Well, that's interesting. They're saying that must be a more dominant bull type, or just the way that pressure affects them behaviorally. Because I have found in the close is that when they're coming in or the closing. Because in the closing they won't do that for me. They will if I have elevation on them, they'll get very wary and they will not want to come into a fight. I'll have to drop down exactly on their level.
Yeah. Okay. So that all
in.
depends too, and is like what kind of bull you're chasing, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you're into a bull, if you're into a group of elk, and if you get like the dominant bull who's running that herd, if he has an opportunity, he already has his cows established.
He'll run.
He'll push his cows, right? But if you get close enough to him and you do you're now in his territory where you threaten to take his cows away from him or threaten to fight, he has no option. He has to advance into you. So, like, we're talking sub 50 yards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we talked about, like, the early season, they're territorial. You kind of have to get right on top of them. And then there's this other section where, so you can actually kill a lot of really dominant big bulls that way. That's, like, we talked to outfitters, that's, like, one of the number one techniques that they use is early season because they can locate those bulls. As soon as they start transitioning into, like, second, week of September, third week of September, they start this, like, I'm a lonely bull wandering around. They'll start walking around looking for cows. And then that's another time when you can potentially get into a lot of real aggressive bugling. They're trying to find other bulls, find cows, find harems, and herd them up, fight, and start. And that, for people that, so what Kevin's talking about is dominant herd bulls and bigger bulls. If you're looking just to get your tag on a bull, a good legal bull, you'll see satellites at that point will be really susceptible to calling.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to call them in. And it's funny, the bull I killed last year was a satellite bull.
Yeah,
right.
Because they haven't been beat up, right?
Well, they have, but at the same time, that was where I was saying, I utilized cow calling to get in there, and basically, so what happened was, I went into this. Nothing was responding to the bugle, right?
Oh, really?
So I went in, I cow called, and I was cow calling, and then finally did a cow call, and one of the cows that was with the herd responded back to me. Right, so I'd advanced, kept cow calling, and then as I was moving to where the group was, a satellite bull, I didn't know at the time, just a bugle intercepted me, right? He was coming in, and then I was cow calling, advancing cow call, but he got hung up, right? And he was too far away for me to do a nervous grunt. He was just too far away. So what I did was, I dropped back 30 yards, turned around, and I sent one location bugle, right?
Yep.
And by the time I got to the spot where I already was, that bull that I killed was coming in at full. He was working. He was already there. I could see him, right? And it was just basically knock and arrow. He came. I stepped out from behind the tree and sank it in him. But I had elevation on him as well, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing. We're talking about solo calling versus if you had a partner, you could kind of replicate that. You could do slingshot techniques. You could do a lot of things, but when you're by yourself too, a good tactic is. You call, those elk are really good at knowing where noise is coming from. So if you make a call, you can probably put a pin on it. And if you walked away, that bull will be sitting there where the heck is that bull? It was calling to me.
Oh yeah, they'll come right to your spot, yeah.
Thinking about that, if you get in a situation where you potentially think that a bull is going to come up and hang up on the edge of timber, what I've done is I will quickly, if I know there's a bull coming in, I've seen where if I don't have time to move up to the downwind side where I can get a shooting lane, what I'll do is, I did this in 2022, I did a cow call, and there's a bull, I could see him running up, and I knew he was going to hang up, so to kind of mitigate that, I quickly cast a call over my shoulder, as far out as I can, loud to my rear, and that gives the bull an illusion that I'm farther away, which will bring him in further to see. Because otherwise, you just come to the edge of that timber, stop, and look, and there's nothing there. And I've done that on a few bulls where, too, like if you're bugling, bugle behind you, it gives you the illusion that you're farther away.
Now you've just given yourself an extra 30 yards potentially
where you're in shooting range.
So when we're talking about going back to your spot of calling, like I know talking to Paul Medell, the elk nut, he talks, he shared that information as well, is where he's actually gone to places where he's called, not gotten a response, no responses, but he just sat on that exact spot, and he'll sit there for 2 hours. And at 1 hour 59, that bull's coming in to check out where he was calling, right? He's just, for some reason, he's not into it. Maybe it's a little late, post-rut, maybe he's already run it, but he's curious. Curiosity killed him, right? And he's had successful kills with bulls that way, too.
And think about it. Think of how long it takes for you to walk 3 kilometers, right? You can call pretty far with some high volume. Give them some time to come in. They're not necessarily running to come see you. They're kind of trotting. They kind of make their way over to you. So you got to give some time. That's a great point, because I had the same thing. 2022, I shot a bull where I was bugling, locating location bugles, grunting, raking, chuckling, you name it. And I'm only less than 50 yards from where I shot that bull. I did that for, 20 minutes. Sat there, ate lunch, waited. It's over an hour and a half.
What'd you have for lunch?
I think it was like some shitty bars and granola bars and stuff. It was nothing good. But I just sat there and I waited. I repositioned, re-got the wind, and did a small cow call, and the bull was right there. He came running in. It was, and same thing, I could see him coming in. I counted the points. Yep, we're good to go. He's branch antlered. He's 5 points. He's coming in. And just quickly had time to just range landmarks, cast a call behind me so he would come across. And he ended up walking right across. His eye passed a tree, and I drew back at 15 yards and shot him at 10 feet broadside. So, you got to give that time for them to get to you. That's a major call out from that. And then eventually, as the season progresses, it gets to what Kevin's talking about when you got herd bulls, and that's a little bit more difficult. And we've talked about this on the podcast. Sometimes, we're talking a lot about calling, but in those situations, like Kevin's talking about, you maybe just want to locate, close the distance, and then maybe you don't give up your position. You spot and stalk from there, and you just are quiet.
Well, there's been times too where calling hasn't been effective, but and so one thing, like elk, they're very patternable not in their daily routine. Do you know what I mean? Like they're more patternable in their daily routine, not really like whitetails where they're going to go.
Yeah.
But you can pretty much bet on what they're going to do, right? They're going to 10 o'clock in the morning, they're going to go to find a bedding area, they're going to hunker down. And that's your time to, if you're going to stalk in and there's elk in there, you found where they're bedding, that's a great time to stalk in, right? You just have to be very wary of, because one thing, cruising into a bed, you got a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah, you got a lot of cows.
Yeah, a lot of cows looking around. And then it's not like they're all just laying down in bed. Some are up and some are moving around. And so you have to be very careful and cognizant of how you're moving, it's effective.
You're literally explaining my elk hunting last year. I got on them in the morning. They were on the move. I got busted at 40 yards. I tried to get on his level. The bull went up above me to look down. I just stayed put. Had to retrack him down. They blew out of there. They went and moved to a bed on a bench. And exactly what you're talking about, I switched modes back into the mule deer stalking, complete silent, no calling, got up to them, and there's cows. I got up on this bench where I thought that they were, and there was cows everywhere. It was a minefield of eyes, and just crawled. Took me 3 hours to close under 100 yards of them, just because I moved. Oh, somebody's looking at me. Just got to stay here for I felt like a slug. I'm like, am I going to make it before last light? It was taking forever. And you get close to them, and then you start calling maybe. And you see, if there's a herd bull, they could be pinned down. In my case, that's what it was. There was a big dominant herd bull in the center, and there's satellites rotating around that group of elk, challenging, probing, seeing if they can kind of pull a cow away.
For sure, yeah. And the herd bull is always, he allows those bulls to be in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, depending on the side of the herd, like that bull, so when a cow goes into estrus, she goes into estrus for a very short time.
Yeah.
And that, that bull can't breed all those cows.
No.
So he will allow breeding with the satellite bulls, the smaller bulls that he already knows he can control, because if he doesn't control his herd, some other bull is going to stand into the party and he's going to want to
play. Exactly. And that's a great opportunity when that bull is kind of preoccupied with the chaos of rut. And that's what you'll see like a herd bull pacing, and maybe he'll run off. And it was crazy. I was watching satellites would come in. At that point, bugling isn't really effective, because it could be effective, but you bugle and I hear a bugle from that satellite and that satellite and that satellite, and there's bulls everywhere. You're like, what the heck's going on? There's almost so much chaos you can't make sense of it.
Yeah, it's exciting, but it's ineffective.
Yeah, it's not productive, right? Yeah. So, at that point, you could do a bugle and then go silent so they feel safe with that area if you have the wind, and you can just wait for those satellites to rotate as they're getting their butts kicked by the herd bull, and wait for them to come close to you, and then just maybe like a real whiny estrus, like a nya, 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 and cast it behind you. They're going to think, oh, there's a cow up there. I've been getting my butt kicked this whole time. Maybe I'll go up there and have a look.
Well, and that's what they're looking for too, right? They're looking for that one lone cow.
Yeah, very opportunistic.
Who's going to come in, who's going to kick into come into heat, and he's going to get the fast opportunity to breed with her, because the herd bull, who's already proven himself as the dominant bull, is busy, or he's tied up with another cow, or he just bred and now he's sitting down, right? Like he's like, I mean, I know all males like to think, we could just go
they
breed
get
forever,
pretty dumb,
but we can't. He's got to regroup just like everybody
when you're
else.
Sneaking into those herds, regardless how big they are. You ever had any of those satellite bulls? Like, you got your eye on the herd bull, let's say that's your target. You ever had any of those satellite bulls bust you? And, they start running, and I know a lot of people will just give up. They're like, we're busted and everything. But a lot of the other elk haven't actually seen them. They're just reacting to that, per se, satellite
And as
bull.
long as they don't smell you, I've learned that you shouldn't give up. If you bust them, it really doesn't matter, as long as you're not doing crazy movements and really screwing up. If you get busted and you just kind of stay still, let things kind of, and then if you rip a bugle or some elk noise, they'll be like, oh, maybe I just was seeing something weird.
Yeah, exactly. It all depends on how well you're seeing. Like, if you're in the thick stuff, there's a lot going on. There's other cows moving, right? There's other bulls ripping around. So if they see movement, they might see movement, not being able to identify you as an elk, but they're not totally spooked. But if you go in there and you're not paying attention to the thermals or wind drift or anything like that, and they smell you, it's game over, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because
it's definitely had it where they haven't smelt me, but I've been busted by that satellite that was just sitting there all quiet. And as soon as he started running, obviously all the other elk are starting to pay attention. And I've ripped a couple bugles, being like, he ran off because I chased him off. I'm the new big bull coming in to check out what's going on, and see there's ladies here, and I've got myself into quite a few big herds that way, just by accident too, like knowing the herds were there, but getting busted by accident. But the only thing that saved me from the whole mountainside clearing was pretending he's already running. See, you've got nothing to lose at this point. Rip a huge bugle if that's the scenario. I mean, like, I am a big elk. I'm coming in to check things. Don't do it when you're in the open.
Yeah,
if it's thick, you can get away with it. If the
exactly, and there's a lot of chaos. Like in that herd that I was on, there was that herd bull. He did not bugle whatsoever, and he is smashing into bulls, locking horns. Cows are pacing, and that was one thing that I if you got to kind of glass and then capitalize on what's going on. If there's chaos, coming closer, start creeping in, and as long as you're in their zone, say if you're going for like a herd bull, I probably wouldn't really bugle too much or even cow call. I would just try and get close and wait for that herd bull to circle around or screw up in his position, where I'm just hanging out kind of in that zone where I could shoot him, but I need him to make the mistake. Because if you start getting super aggressive, you'll push the limits, and then you'll blow up the herd because the cows will see you. And then, so that's, with a herd bull, that's probably the technique, is just kind of hang out, get closer, and just wait on that kind of shadowing them and wait for them to make a mistake. You know, I shot the satellite, he came around, he was asking for an arrow, and I just called him in with cow calls back and forth, and he just kind of worked his way up to me. And just so you guys know the level of violence that those bulls were doing to each other, I put an arrow in that bull, and another satellite immediately attacked him.
Yeah.
Seeing that he was hurt, and locked horns, and then drove him into the ground.
Yeah, well, they want to prove dominance as well, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if there is an opportunity to breed, they're on deck. They want to prove that they're ready to play ball.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That was a good discussion on elk.
You should do another giveaway.
We got lots
let's
of
give
giveaways.
away something.
I was looking at the sheep pack, and I was thinking about your sheep hunt this year. That was on film.
Yeah.
What happened?
That's the end of the story.
That's it?
Oh, you want me to tell the sheep story? Yeah.
Dude, you're full of, like, they're epic stories.
Really,
but, like, again,
they were
no
super
kills.
painful. Like,
did you film it?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This one is on film.
Yeah.
So
There's one thing about.
I'm going to speed it up. You were on a film. You flew into this area. You found a good ram.
Yeah.
You went to shoot it.
Fill in the blank.
You're bringing me.
You're
right there.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. So
you missed.
No, I have to stop.
Well, I mean, I
definitely missed. And I missed not because I didn't
try
take
hard
my time or have something where I'm too excited. I was there half an hour. We aged him to make sure he was old enough. We were on a pretty steep angle down, so we weren't sure if he was breaking the bridge of his nose. So we really wanted to be sure. So we had, 2 swirl spotters just sort of on him. Luckily,
how far away were you guys?
he
Because
took a
judging sheep, how many sheep hunters we got? How many people have hunted sheep here? Nice. Just 1? 2?
I saw 2.
Wow.
This is 200 yards away.
200
pretty
yards
good
away,
condition. So that's.
Were you using a bow?
Yeah.
You missed the 200 yards? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to interrupt you. Keep going. Sorry.
So, yeah, I get set up, rear rest, rifles as steady as a rock. It's all set up. We're back on the spotters. We both go back and forth. We got to be 110%. We got to make sure, we get to that stage for sure. We've got it. We've reviewed it. We've zoomed in on our long range footage, and we're confident. So I just went down there, and because we were 200 yards away, which is what my rifle is sighted in for, I didn't have to adjust my elevation turret. I dial up for my longer range shooting, and it's a pretty terrible error for sure. But when I'd finished sighting my rifle in, or doing the test shots once I got north a couple days before in the gravel pit, I had to make a slight adjustment, a 2-click adjustment in my zero. So I made the 2-click adjustment after driving 25 hours. And then reset the way the swirl ballistic turret works, reset everything. Okay, happy. And then I wound it to 0. It only rotates about 3/4 of a single rotation from bottom to top. I rotated right to the top, just mentally tired, put my scope cover on, put it in my backpack, ready, loaded on the plane the next day. 3 days later, opening day, this is where we're at. I'm steady as a rock, 200 yards away. Like I'm seriously thinking about cooking his backstraps on the fire. And I touched off the shot and shot, significantly high, 30 minutes dial up over him.
What was going through your brain when you realized you missed? Like
I didn't believe Jesse. Because I was so steady that all my mental checks were done.
What did he say? Like, just, dude, you missed. Shoot again. Did they get up and run?
His exact words were miss high. And I was like, no.
That's a
I got
hard
a little
miss.
colorful, but no effing way. And he's like, yeah, real high. And that's playing in my head as now the two sheep, he had a young 5-year-old with him too. They're just ripping across the slope below me. And it's playing in my head. Miss high.
Hold that mic up, buddy.
How are we missing real high? Real high. So then, I'm just looking at the sheep, and then I looked down at my rifle, and I could see the turret was right at its upper limit. And it's...
Well, and you probably didn't even think that you needed to adjust because you're at 200 yards,
it was at
right?
my zero. That's the issue.
So that's why you didn't adjust it. Didn't even look at it.
If we clearly could have seen him full curl, I would have shot him from 300 yards, which would have meant I would have given a few clicks on my turret, which would have probably resulted in the desired outcome. But it's
Tough, man. This started out the season too. That was the
kickoff. Yeah.
Well,
80
at least you
kilometers
finished on the same low you started with.
Yeah,
So,
I did. I stayed low. It was like a boat that never got on
buddy.
plane.
You're consistent. Love it.
Hey, the next episode's a good one. It's just not me killing mule deer.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
The guests.
Anyway, we got this. Who wants to hunt sheep? Well, we got a pack here to give away.
Yeah. That's a good one.
How are you going to do this one?
You're doing it?
No, I said, how are you going to do this one?
Why don't you contribute to this whole thing? You're just sitting here.
It's just like the show.
I know.
This is all I'm here for. That's it. That's it. Some pictures. This beautiful voice. That's it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to change that, so. This is on
What do you think, Pete?
Hold up. Who wants to go sheep hunting again here? Hold your hands up.
Ooh,
it's
question.
Definitely
It's
10
just
to 14
it's just a
day.
tent to just the size of it. It's a tent like
substantial.
When you're going to hunt sheep, generally, if you're going to go into that far, you're going to plan on at least a 10-day
with a camp.
Yeah, and that has the ability to, just because of the size of it, you can fit your camp and all the food and everything you need to sustain yourself for 10 days. Obviously, you're not going to pack 10 days of water in that, but that's something you have to figure out when you get up there. And I mean, that water is a big issue no matter where you're going, what kind of hunting you're doing. If you're doing it early season, if you're on a 3-day hunt, water's pretty scary if you're chasing mule deer. It doesn't matter what you're doing, water is an issue. So but that just comes into building a hunt plan and understanding where you're going.
It's nice light pack too.
Is anyone that put their hand up that wants to hunt sheep hunting them this year? Anyone that's going to do that not have a pack that's capable of doing that?
Oh, how about the young guy back there? All right, come on up here, buddy. Yeah, we'll get him fitted.
Let's do it. There you go.
There you go.
You got a sheet.
That's a big win.
You'll have to make some adjustments there to get it to fit you right, but
yeah. Do you know how to fit a pack? Do you want to show? Does anybody who doesn't know how to? Maybe we should show you real quick.
I'm not an Everly stock guy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, come out here, buddy. Let's show.
Yeah. So what Kevin's going to do is he's going to make sure that the waistline is positioned properly above his hips so that all the weight, so primarily when you put a pack on, you'll kind of shimmy your pack up so that most of the weight is on your hips, so it's not on your shoulders. He's going to then probably adjust the height.
That spacing in between the
so
shoulders.
So there's a
gapping
gapping here. So if there's a big gap there, that means that it's not properly positioned, the frame. So he's going to move around the shoulder straps to make sure that's comfortable. And the thing is, you do want a little bit of space because, or better yet, you put some weight in it. Because if you don't have any weight, the pack's going to feel a lot different than, say, if you're packing on 150 pounds of elk or, something substantial. That's really going to move. So usually when I'm fitting a pack for myself with a frame or external frame, I'll put a little bit of weight on in the pack just so it feels solid, so I know what it's going to feel like when I'm actually using it. And then you adjust your shoulder straps so that there's a little bit of gapping, not much, but then I can also there's these weight-bearing straps on the top, so when you load up, you put your waist strap on, Then you put your shoulders, click it in, and then you cinch down those weight straps on the top, and it alleviates. It almost pulls the weight up to alleviate the stress on your shoulders.
Yeah, if you got too big of a gap in there too, it's going to sit funny, and the weight is going to pull you back differently instead of being nice and tight to your body. And you are going to feel it. I don't care what pack you have.
Yeah,
every pack has got to fit to you specifically. It's not, my pack isn't going to fit the same as Derek's pack. So you gotta, and if you need a little bit of help from your spouse, friend, whoever, get it, because it can be, a little cumbersome when you're taking it on and off. But if somebody can make the adjustments depending on the pack that you have while it's on with weight, it can speed up the process too quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And it like, say, if exactly what Pete's talking about, if the pack is too high, you're really going to notice that when you're going extremely vertical.
Pete, my hands are too big to get in here. Can you get up here?
You do not have
too big hands. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to want a buddy to help you get up when you're fully loaded. Yeah, like if you're packing out a moose. I packed out a moose this past year and pushed me to my physical limits of having to get somebody to help you stand up, move around. Definitely going to want some walking sticks for those ones. But, yeah, so essentially they just are going to move the shoulder straps up, make sure everything is comfortable, fitting right, and then... This is taking a little bit longer here, Kevin.
I guess depending on the brand that you have too, you could go on, I'm sure there's videos on YouTube too that help you out, depending on, every brand's going to have their own specific type of adjusting. It'll be, same difference, but...
Or frames too, like, so I use the Kuiu packs, Ashley uses the Kafaru, the new Arc frame. So those are very tailored to your torso size, so you get like a sizing of like from your neck to bottom of your waist, as well as your waist size too. So you really want to pay attention to when you're buying that stuff, that maybe you try it on in person if you can, because that's really going to give you a feel for how it's actually going to work for you ergonomically. You don't want to buy a pack that's not going to fit you and you're spending $700 to $1,000, right?
Yeah, and definitely if you're learning about fitting your pack on the trail, you're going to regret it, because just going in on a 10-day sheep hunt, like, I'm a little heavier than normal because I pack camera gear as well, but I packed 70 pounds last year, 18 kilometers into base camp from where the float plane dropped us off. So if your pack, you won't make it. If your pack is not fitted, that's just, well, you might make it, but you're going to really hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to wear down on you. Like, if you're just doing a couple days, you might not notice, but if you're doing day after day after day after day of stalks and calling and hiking, if you don't have a pack that fits you right, it's really going to punish you. So we're looking all right.
Another thing too, I've seen some people do
buddy.
is...
That looks a lot better, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Looks
Another
good.
thing too that some people can do, depending on the size of pack that you have, anybody that's got one of those water coolers, if you fill up one of those with water, it doesn't have to be full, but it disperses the weight in quite a big area on your back too. So I've had quite a few friends do that. And if the pack's big enough, they'll put one of those in there, and that'll give you a feel too, because it's also different having weight just in the bottom of your pack versus all the way up, like if you have a quarter of an animal in there. So that's another good way to make the adjustment and know, or if you're going into a store or something, it'd be funny walking in with a water jug or whatever, but if you can find something to do that, that's how you're going to tell whether the pack actually works for you.
Yeah,
I don't care on the brand, it's what works for you.
Yeah, exactly, because we all hunt differently. We all have different hunt styles. So, whether that's, like you talk about with like rifles, bows, like if you're not calling and you hunt mule deer, you don't want a big pack. You're probably going to want something that's real lightweight, sleek, that you can really like all these other straps. Like when I'm hunting mule deer and I know I have to be very sneaky, very slow, methodical with my stalks. I'll always usually take my pack off, but I want everything to be low profile, no noise, and if I do dump it, I have to have some sort of plan for safety. So like we talked about on the podcast, like you can have a pack like this. You might want to have some other way of holding water too, right? So like if I'm going to drop my pack, number one, I got my GPS, my safety, so I can send out for help. but also some other way of having water. Whether that's a small little pack that you can throw on your back, or like a bladder with a pack on the back. That's one thing that you might want to look into for mule deer hunting. Anything to add on that for packs and mule deer hunting? And
well, I don't do the backcountry camp kind of like the trailer goes into the backcountry, and I don't mind hiking to the top of the mountain and back down all in a day. I've got some back injuries, so I don't really trust them for sleeping in a tent at the top of the mountain. It's just the way it is. Can't do anything about it. So my packs are usually a little smaller, like usually a 2 or 3 day pack where I can pack lots of water, lots of food for that big full day up and down the steep mountains and stuff. But that's my style of hunting. I know I'm not going to be in the backcountry for 5-6 days.
Yep.
So pick your pack according to how you hunt.
Yeah, oh, that's totally like if you have a monster pack, you're just gonna put more stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like you like when you see it's funny. I've called in a lot of hunters over the years with elk calling, and I'll call in these hunters, and I knew they were new guys because their packs were big and they were full. And really what I'm talking about is you pack your fears, right? So initially when you have no experience, you don't know what you're going to encounter. You pack everything. So I would really just stop and think about realistically what you're going to need for the conditions that you're in.
Well, you don't know until you do it. That's
the
thing.
Exactly. You got to get out there and do it.
Everybody goes through it when you leave the first time. You're going out with a pack that's too heavy. You pack too much stuff that never left your pack. And then as you do it, you get more experience. You're like, you know what? Even if worst case scenario came down to it, I wouldn't need this to survive. And that's what really is like, you boil it down to like, if something happens, what do I need to survive until I either get help to me or I'm able to get out?
Yeah, exactly.
And all those extra goodies, I just leave them in my truck hidden.
Yeah.
So they're there, but I'm not packing them with my legs.
Yeah, exactly. And just the reason why I said that is because it's exactly what Pete's talking about. Is Pete going to have a 7,000 cubic, like massive pack for a 14-day hunt? That's just more weight. More of the actual pack itself. You're not going to need that.
Well, and it all depends, too, is like you want to be effective when you're hunting.
Exactly.
Like if you're packing around this big pack, even if it's not full, you're still running through the bush, and it's just more things that get hung up, more noise you're making.
It depends on where you're hunting, too, and what kind of terrain you're in. I'm not even talking steep or flat. Where I hunt in the Kootenays, super, super thick. 20-yard shot, that's an amazing shot. That's a long shot. So the bigger your pack, the more stuff that's going to hook on branches and stuff. So keeping things
more noise
minimized. Just for that, I have to do a lot of still hunting to be successful. But so if I got something that's up here on my backpack, or it's this wide, well, I'm going to lose out on those few opportunities that I might get that actually work out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Doing gestures too, like if you're elk calling, you have like straps hanging down everywhere and you haven't packed that away and you're not aware of that. If I'm calling and I don't do a test run on like a bugle tube where like I know if I'm calling by myself, I'm gonna have to call and then throw it to my side, and if I can't do that, I can't free my arm to shoot my bow. So just thinking about stuff ahead of time, right?
Yeah. What kind of book you got there? That's a good one.
Yeah, this is a funny story. Do you know who this guy is? It's Patrick Lane. We've had him on the show. So there's a few gentlemen down in Texas who made quite the name for themselves being outlaw hunters. Now, poaching, they used to get into these ranches like the Kennedy Ranch, the King Ranch, and they would spend, what did he say, like
I think his longest time in there
15 days or something on hunting deer in this area, like this private land. The King, I think it was the Kennedy he was hunting on.
I think his longest was 20 some days. He would just poach deer.
Longest. And like those ranches, they had their own game wardens and stuff, and basically they would.
They didn't turn you into the hall. They didn't turn you into the authorities.
No,
they were the authorities.
You were part of the ranch after that. So there's a couple books here. They're really good. There's another guest we had on called what was his name? The Prince of Poachers.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he got caught. So Patrick, he never got busted, but he tells all his everything they did. They called themselves as outlaw hunters, and they're pretty notorious.
And if you actually want to listen,
anybody interested? There's 2 books up here. If you're interested,
they're
come
good
grab
stories. They're great.
Yeah, really good stories.
And actually, Kevin had Kevin had the Prince of Poachers on before I joined.
We got 3 all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, there's really entertaining stories of hunts in there. Good stuff.
Yeah, and if you actually read the book and that too, there's a lot of crossover, and then you'll. Yeah,
well, they were. So these 2 guys.
Hey, we had a book decoy, so we got to give something else away here.
Oh, okay. Well, come up, pick some. Yeah, throw him a T-shirt. How about a hoodie, extra large, right there. Hoodie? What do you want? T-shirt, hoodie.
What size of shirt are you?
XLs.
What size are you? Extra large. Extra large. How about a hoodie, or you want a hoodie or T-shirt? Yeah, there you go. Take it. Yeah, you bet.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, that some of the stories he would tell, they're pretty crazy, pretty insane. So it's a good book to read. How long are we on here for? How long? What do we got? Everybody's got to be sick of listening to us talk.
4:23 right now.
Yeah.
As long as we're done by 6.
Derek's got another presentation to do over that way.
Yeah.
How many turkey hunters we got out here?
Oh, okay.
Wow, how many successful turkey hunters we have? Holy moly.
That's good.
Wyatt puts his, look at Wyatt. Wyatt can't even get his hand up.
Yeah, get out of here.
How many turkeys have you killed, Wyatt? 2 turkeys.
Just bragging now.
Yeah. Pretty good, buddy. Yeah. How many turkeys could you have killed without your dad?
2.
Well, you can't. Well, now he drove you there.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Unless you want to walk that way.
Yeah. This pack that Kafaro sent would be a good pack for turkey pack. Who's a first-time turkey hunter? Who wants to hunt turkeys? Never hunted them before. All right.
Who's that in the back?
Oh, that's Bree. Look at her.
Oh, Bree.
Bree. That's my daughter.
We got 2 young guys here.
Yeah.
Young man right there.
Yeah, he missed out on the boots. Come on up.
All right, buddy. Get up here. Yeah. No, Bree's first up on the turkeys this year, so it's going to be good.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Hey, do we have any questions for anybody? Anybody want to touch?
Anybody want to know something?
Go ahead.
Where do you live, Pete?
In Invermere. Yeah. You from around the area?
Oh, wow. 20,000.
Maybe we need to have a conversation after this.
Yeah.
What is it that you wanted from up here again?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, there's there's actually quite a few trappers and stuff that I've met over time, and it's oh, okay. Yeah.
Who wears Sitka gear? Anybody? We should do the who needs. We got a bino harness here and some gaiters.
This is really nice.
Right there, the old gentleman right there. Hand that to him. We got a pair of gaiters here from Sitka. Why put your hand down? You're not getting any of this stuff.
Gators from Sitka?
I think there's a gentleman right here in the front.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hook it up.
Wicked.
And a hat. We got a hat here from Sitka.
Sitka hat.
We got some water bottles. Hunter, get up here, buddy. You take some of the stuff. You guys go give it out. Whoever
there you go.
It. Yeah,
there you go. Off to work.
Somebody, hey, those are not for sale.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a bunch of $220 bills in your back pocket.
Give them good deals.
Whoever needs a water bottle. Who needs a water bottle for the pack? Okay, well, here, Hunter.
Hey, you know what?
Go give it to the guys who got their hands up. We also got these thermal ones. So let's talk about water bottles. So what kind of water bottle you run?
You missed out here, Dave.
Nalgene and water bladders. It depends on.
You know what I started using? So I started using an insulated water bottle.
Yeah.
I found in the early season when it's hot, nothing worse than hot water when you're thirsty as hell.
Yeah.
They help keep your water cool. You just fill it up to there and throw some ice in it. And then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after things calm down and you're waiting for those mule deer, they're already bedded down, you're going to wait for them to do their movement. It's still cool. It's still cold. And not only that, when you're hunting in the late season, you put warm water in there.
Yeah.
And it's not an ice cube. Like, I've gone before when you pull out your pack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Frozen solid.
Yeah, so I started using insulated water bottles.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think I'll go back. So just a tip for whoever. But we got some T-shirts, water bottle.
Yeah, we got a lot of T-shirts here, actually.
What's over there? Oh,
got a bunch here.
Yeah.
If you haven't got something, come up and get a T-shirt.
Yeah, if you haven't got something, come up, grab something. What's up for everybody? Find your size.
Find your size.
These are XL and 2XL.
Those books Vortex sent us, I don't know.
There's XL and 2XL.
Stickers.
Here, and
sure.
A bit of
get
everything
in there.
over there.
Right on.
Thanks. Shout out to.
Unfortunately, they're all pretty big ones.
Yeah,
These ones might
Vortex.
be a
All
little
these
different
guys.
in
We've worked. We know them. They've.
There's all these here too. There's some women's ones, but they're pretty big.
Yeah, there's a bunch in there.
They're big,
The 2X
unfortunately.
are really big.
Yeah.
Here's some larges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extra large
What
here
about-
as well.
How about you guys? You guys get in the bush?
Large.
Little man?
Yeah, you grab one.
No.
There's
we're
a
good.
medium here. That's a Covenant one. There's not very many mediums. Right there. What we got there? Large.
Is this water bottle someone's?
I don't know. Who needs a
We
water
got one
bottle?
more
Got another
water bottle
medium
back
here.
right there.
Someone want this one?
There you go.
Medium?
There you go.
No.
Get it out.
Everything
someone with a
must
medium?
go.
Share the wealth.
You're welcome.
No cameraman, though. Cameraman, not.
Yeah, you should have got in on this sooner.
Couple 2XLs.
Could have pulled some strings. You knew some people.
Yeah, there you go.
A rookie.
Right on.
They
Oh, yeah,
shrink,
throw it
yeah,
on you.
sure they do.
Yep. Those are quite a bit bigger.
There's a little. Hey, right here. Want some stickers?
2XL.
Yeah, there probably does 2XL. Those are for the big guys.
Can just be a relaxing shirt when you're drinking coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks
Enjoy.
for coming
Good
out,
luck.
guys. Is there anybody have any questions or anything you want to talk about, want to learn about? We got we got a lot on this panel, either how to or how to not do.
I'm the how to not.
It seems like we got the how not to do and the how to do on this side, eh? I'm
Honest
just kidding.
people
Hey,
like that.
hey,
Honest people.
I don't think so.
We're just picking. Like Stuckless is he's actually a really good hunter. Now I don't know if anyone's has added the extra amount of difficulty or aware of the extra amount of difficulty it takes to hunt with a camera.
Oh, yeah.
It is like it's a lot harder. Like I can't even explain the extra difficulty it adds. Like we filmed a bear hunt last spring, and it was like, man, it started off good. It started off killer right away. Out of the gate, we've seen a bear right away, and then it was just like 3 days of struggle. But like just the amount of dedication and hard work and like commitment you have to have, because like I've tried to film my hunts where it's like the first day I have good intentions and like you're shooting lots of stuff and you have your GoPro going. And then by the second day, it's like, well, I'll just selectively do it. And then the third day, it's like, no, I got to get down to business here because I got to get home and get back to work. And it's like you almost have to be willing to sacrifice cutting a tag to capture the shot.
You're definitely going to sacrifice some tags, and but then it's like hunting in itself. Like it's a lot of work to do, and if you keep grinding, you can be successful at it. It's just I'm just bit with the same bug, but now it's with the camera gear side of things. I've definitely realized that I need some help out there for sure because as much as I want to self-film everything and show it, I also want it to be pleasant to watch, right? Like it's so it's
it's hard. I feel
cool.
like if you're doing it yourself, it's hard to actually capture the hunt and like what's going into the hunt if you're trying to do everything at once, where you can't actually see you in the frame.
Yeah, I film a lot of my friends and I talk from behind the camera, and I still think there's a stylized approach to make that still fun to watch, but in order to, like, for example, the sheep hunt, to show us both hiking across the scree slope as we actually did, we need that extra person, or like I did on the hunt, I did 3 or 4 tripod setups just to get that done, and that's definitely detracting from hunting.
One thing too I'd like to add is like the amount of extra steps that are taken by the camera guy.
Oh yeah.
He's running up in front of you, filming you walking up a hill. You pass him, he's walking behind you. He's going running to the side, get an angle of you walking. You know, there's just so much extra movement where you're just like going in a straight line.
Do you know what the one
if
key
you're
thing
following
is?
this guy, it's a lot of steps. It's a lot of hustle. Yeah, for sure.
You know, I think the key though to actually capturing that moment.
Yes, I need this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hit the record button once.
You were smiling for so long.
That's
I knew you were
true.
locked and loaded.
I can't get it out.
If there's anything I've learned,
ready.
if there's anything I learned early on, it's that.
Yeah.
Hitting record.
Hit the record
I think
button.
we
Just
talk
once.
about
I
that.
hit
Just
the
once.
record button.
But more than once.
People are leaving now.
I hit the record button. I just hit it too many times.
Right.
And it turned off. But
Yeah.
I told you that. You know what would have helped is if you came down and you were hunting.
Oh, blame game.
I was pretty sad that week.
Yeah.
I just crashed my truck, so.
All right, well, I think that's it, eh? We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
Do we do, no, we don't. We don't do any more exit songs, so that's it. Thanks, everybody, for
Thank you for
everyone.
coming.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Thanks
Appreciate
the
it.
show.
You guys are awesome.
Enjoy your gear.
Yeah.
Did you say beer?
That's going to be after here.
Okay.
Pete drank
Oh,
all
you're
my
on your
beer.
own.
Not for me. I can't do anything. I
We're
gotta
going to
wait.
drink and watch this guy.
Hello.
A life that has the stories to back it. A life to be proud of. It's a Winchester life.
Yeah, baby. 6'8" Western. Oh, mule deer, baby, right there.
Tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Waypoint TV.
Gear up for the hunt and learn from the best with Deer and Deer Hunting Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern on Waypoint TV. Tune in every week for expert hunting tips and unforgettable moments in the field. Waypoint TV, your destination for outdoor entertainment.